Hi, everyone. This is Jean Secrets with 42Gears, and thank you for jumping on our webinar today. I am going to give it just a minute or so to allow everyone to jump on in case we have any folks that are a little bit late getting here. So if you just bear with us, we'll get started in just another minute, but thanks for joining. All right, it looks like we've got a pretty good crowd, so I'm going to go ahead and get us started. So first off, happy almost Friday, everybody, and thank you for joining us. As you can see, the webinar today is What's Up with 42Gears. I'm Jean Sechrist, 42Gears Global Director of Channel Marketing, and I'm going to be your host today. So thank you for taking the time. I know it's end of quarter and probably crunch time for a lot of you, so I really do appreciate you all taking the time to join us today. I promise you we've got a great lineup of presenters and topics today. But before we get started, just a few of those housekeeping items. So for the webinar, we're all going to be, or all the attendees will be on mute, but we would love to have you submit your questions. So you'll see in that toolbar on the right-hand side, you have that questions drop-down arrow. So feel free, as the webinar goes on and you have a question, feel free to type that in and submit it at any time. But we will probably hold the questions to the end of the webinar. Also, the webinar is being recorded. So I will be sure to send out the recording link, and we are also going to provide everybody with a presentation deck. So if you miss anything, you'll have the deck as well as the recording to go off of. Thanks for advancing that slide, Michelle. So what we'll cover as we get started, we're going to have a welcome and update from our CEO, Ankar Singh, which is awesome. Then we're going to move into a product and feature update from Michelle Gray and Jeff Robbins. And then I will be wrapping things up with some resources and tools to support that you can use to support your marketing efforts. And then we will close with any questions and go from there. So Michelle, the next slide. So I want to go ahead and welcome our CEO, Ankar Singh, and I'm going to go ahead and turn it over to Ankar to get us started.
Sure. Thanks, Jean. I would also like to welcome everyone for taking the time today to join us. I hope the session is useful to you all. To start with a quick background on about 42Gears, we have been in the business for over 13 years now, with over 18,000 plus customers, managing a few million devices using our suite of products. We serve customers from almost about every vertical and from all over the globe. Michelle, next slide, please. So what does 42Gears bring to the table, right? For one, our solutions are industry agnostic with features that really solve challenges that customers face in almost any kind of industry. Our products are also backed by a support team that we are really very proud of. I'm not saying that we never goof up, but as a company, we encourage behavior of accountability, and our support team is a good example of that. And our aim is always to find a solution or a conclusion for the customer, really. So for our partners, we recently released what we call a Cosmos partner portal that provides access to information and useful marketing resources, as well as sales tools and so on. And I think Jean is going to go over that in more detail later on. Channel is our focus, and for various reasons. We want to explore new industries and geographies. Where possible, we want to work with you, learn from your expertise in your space, and deliver effective solutions to the end customers. And of course, revenue. We want partner relationships to be mutually beneficial relationships. Generating more revenue for both of us. A bit on the stability part of 42Gears. We have a strong customer base for a very long time, and that has kept us on a strong financial ground. We know the markets are currently a bit unstable, but we are not going anywhere. 42Gears is an independent company. We were bootstrapped, and we remain so. This approach has allowed us to make decisions that are in the best interest of our customers and partners. Next slide, please. So a bit on the trends that we are seeing in the industry, increase in the bandwidth and reliability with the adoption of 5G and Wi-Fi 7 that is coming up. Uh, you know, you know, this advancement is going to be very useful in applications, such as AR, VR, edge computing, industrial IoT, that really need that kind of bandwidth. We also see the mobile app development is going through a phase change. No code solutions are available that can help anybody develop basic applications with almost no programming knowledge, or you can manage with that. Use of AI is helping developers build apps quickly and with confidence if they know what they're doing. With the advancement of what we see, Chat GPT and Bard from Google, this is going to really to the next level. On the security part, we see that adoption of security tools will continue to increase, especially with more countries implementing data regulation laws. So as a result, businesses will continue to focus on data encryption in motion or at rest. Then we have the mobile VPN technology is improving too, with platform vendors like Google or Apple providing the low-level support for more efficient mobile VPN functionality. So it's not just what was working on desktops is being ported to mobile. The mobile has its own constraints, and those of positioning and navigation. It's really like having GPS within the walls. Unfortunately, GPS doesn't work well within the walls. So new technologies and creative use of existing ones is making it possible to track assets and people inside buildings. So as this matures, I believe new apps and solutions will be developed for offering personalized services and experience to the customers, to the users, and also in the field of worker safety. Coming to the peripheral management, this is quite an interesting trend. Initially management was all about managing laptops and desktops and the computers, literally, right? So then started the era of MDMs for managing mobile infrastructure, mobile devices, rugged devices, all sorts of smartphones and tablets. Now these two approaches have combined into what we call UEM, or Unified Endpoint Management. Now, what we see is that this scope is widening with customers wanting to manage more devices, at the workplace, like barcode scanners, printers, thermal printers, or testers, or even to the extent of managing Bluetooth headsets. So we like to call this now workplace device management, which brings all types of devices under one umbrella. So and 42Gears is aligned with many of these trends, and we'll continue to observe the market in the future. So yeah, thank you all, and I hope you have a great rest of the session. Yeah, Jean, to you.
Great. Thanks so much, Ankar. Appreciate your thoughts and for joining us on the webinar. Again, just to remind everybody, if you have questions, please do submit them. Ankar is going to stay on the webinar with us, so when we get to the end, he'll be available to answer questions as well. So moving on to our product and feature updates, we have two of our territory account managers that will be joining us. We have Michelle Gray and we have Jeff Robbins. So I'm going to go ahead and turn it over to Michelle to go ahead and get us started.
Thank you, Jean, and thank you, everybody. This is such a fantastic showing the day before the end of Q1. So we really do appreciate everybody's investment in this session. So I want to make sure we recognize that. We know that a lot of the folks on this call have been selling MDM solutions for years. So it's just delightful that this support and the uptake that we've been getting with a lot of our partners in bringing Sure MDM and our other product suite to market. So this first slide that you see represents our full solution suite that is GA today. My focus for just a couple slides here will be on Sure MDM and the products that are in under our Astro brand will be covered by Jeff, and Jeff is going to talk about the Sure MDM hub, just so you know how we're all dividing this up. So in terms of Sure MDM, obviously it's a UEM solution. What is unique about it in the market and very unusual in the world of all of the players in this space is it is for Android, iOS, Windows, Linux, Mac OS, wearables, virtual reality devices, IoT platforms, and as Ankar alluded to, now to a certain degree in the peripheral space. So this incorporates all aspects of enterprise mobility through endpoint management, mobile application management, mobile device management, and content management. So the significant thing, I guess, takeaway from this slide for everybody here is most of the players in our space who we come up against address, there's a few that only do one operating system out there, right? There are some players that just do iOS, but they do one or two or three. There's very few that have the depth and breadth of operating systems that we offer. And the other interesting thing as well is, we offer a very consistent user experience on the feature set across virtually every platform, with a few exceptions, where you'll see a lot of possible instability and not feature parity in some of the other solutions that are out there. There are a lot of good ones out there, but that's kind of some of the differences that you'll start to see in the market. So particularly if you have a customer who is multiple OSs, multiple device types, some of them, I learned a couple weeks ago with one of our partners, is running 3 different MDM solutions in their enterprise. Very inefficient, very expensive, and if you have a customer that is in that space, we would be an ideal solution for a consolidation. So that's just kind of something to keep in mind. So as promised, the other component, or the components that are modular to Sure MDM are Sure Lock, Sure Fox, and Sure Video. So Sure Fox is purely a browser control function. You could lock the browser down to one site or specific whitelisted sites and lock everything else out. Sure Lock is the same sort of concept, but with applications, not letting anybody put unauthorized apps on or take the ones they're supposed to have off. And then finally, Sure Video, which is your video kiosk. It's we've all been in the doctor's office, sitting there waiting for our appointment, and all kinds of doctor's offices have that kiosk that's there running helpful health information, and those signage solutions are managed by our solution or other solutions in the market. So as we mentioned, Sure MDM is our flagship product. We find novice users have a really easy time learning the solution and getting in and rolling their shirt sleeves up and using it, and then very advanced MDM pros, people who have been in the space for years. It offers a single management console, and from the console, the admin can secure, monitor, and manage, as mentioned before, any device using any operating system anywhere that device is. So it stands out with feature parity across the operating systems, with only a few exceptions. And in terms of the industries that, to Ankar's point earlier, we are in some way, shape, or form, our solution is deployed in every industry almost, but transportation and logistics and construction tend to be very highly penetrated, but we also see a lot of uptake in hospitality, retail, manufacturing, and of course, whenever we have field service workers, loan workers, delivery people, maintenance people, etc. So that's where you're going to find, the most opportunity when going to market and having discussions on the solution. So this gives you just a little bit more of a visual picture of how how deep and wide we go into all the operating systems, which I alluded to earlier. I think one of the later developments, for lack of a better word, that's again getting a lot of reception in the market is the whole printer management, POS printer management. We are able to manage Zebra, Epson, and some other devices, and this is going to, of course, allow your customers to proactively manage those printers and save valuable outages and downtime. So it is a solution that is not widely available in the market, and it's something that has been sought after for a very long time. And while that's not actually represented on this slide, though, it is a great way to again weave it into your conversation as you're talking to your customer base and looking for incremental or upsell opportunities within your customers. So the next two slides, these are some of the, I would guess, more of the key or standout features, and I don't think there's a reason to get into each of them in a lot of detail right now. We would definitely run out of time, but I think just taking a little bit of time to look at a few things that are maybe a little bit unique or rare within the MDM space. I know I've spoken to probably a lot of you on the phone, and you've told me that you've had customers that have mentioned that remote control is a real challenge with some of the other solutions out there. Either the functionality itself it is lacking, or in a lot of cases, even with some of the big players, they do not have a natively built remote control. SureMDM is natively built, and a lot of other solutions rely on a third-party hosting to remote in. That obviously causes an incremental step for the frustrated end user and the admin, but it's also an extra cost to the customer because they have to maintain two sets of licenses just purely for the remote function. So that's really a big differentiator with us. Our out-of-the-box enrollments are, a couple of clicks, very seamless and straightforward. Our dashboards, in addition to providing just lots of stats, also have the ability to give graphic representations of alerts, notifications, and admins can sort through and organize and get custom panels that summarizes the critical events that are mission critical to their business and create reports that focus in on what's most important to them. The ability to do composite jobs and apply it remotely, again, create the job, and it's a matter of a click, and it's seamless to the end user. I talked a little bit about custom reporting tools. Those reports can then be auto-generated to create month-end reports that land into designated email boxes. So again, keeping mission-critical information in the right hands of the enterprise. Fencing is also something that is very important to a lot of end users. Specific features, applications, and URLs can be locked when that particular device goes out of a fence, and then obviously reinstated when it comes back into the fence. It's a feature, again, that has been on SureMDM for many years and not widely available in the market. And then there's also a geolocation feature that helps end customers find lost and stolen devices, and it tracks the entire movement of the device everywhere that device has been until it was actually located and ideally returned. So these are some of the few things that are more outstanding in the solution. And what we are finding it is becoming more and more, must-have criteria for customers. So without sort of repeating what I just said, I think these are, when you're out with customers and they're either doing a device refresh, you have a brand new customer that is buying new devices, and they know they need to manage it, and they know there are lots of players in the market. Asking questions like, okay, so you just bought these, 100 Lenovo tablets, but what else is in your estate? And then you find out that they've got people who are using iPhones. You find out that their laptops are all Windows, etc. Great time to say, well, if you want a single management console that's going to address every need in your estate, you got the multi OS support there. So I would reach out to Jeff and myself or other members of the team if you want us to help craft a story. You're having a conversation with a customer. You want to come back to them and make sure that you answer the mail and you hit all the high points of whatever their challenges or fears or frustrations are, and we'll help you craft a story about these differentiators, or if anything else comes up in the market. Before I turn this over to Jeff, the last and final thing that I would say from a differentiator standpoint, and I know this is going to this is going to be music to a lot of folks' ears. All of our, whether they buy on-prem and just have an annual support contract, or the SaaS service, which most customers are, either way, our support is 24/7 by 365. And again, very unusual in the market. We understand and we know for fact that in some other solutions offerings, that there's no weekend support, no overnight support, not global support, any number of factors. And if you want that support, your customer pays a hefty incremental support contract on top of their licensing, and it gets extremely expensive. And that again is, whether it's through chat on the console, whether it's email, whether it's a phone, our support team there is there 24/7 by 365 as standard. So with that, hopefully I didn't go over time here. Want to thank everybody, and I'm going to go ahead and hand this over to my colleague, Jeff.
All right, thanks, Michelle. Maybe if you could skip to the next slide. Actually, before we go to Jeff, I'm going to interject really quick, and we would love to take a polling question. So I'm going to see if I can get our polling tool to work correctly. So I'm going to go ahead and launch a question here. If you all could please take a moment and take a look at the question and answer that for us, that would be awesome. I'll give it just a few seconds here. When I close the poll, everybody should see the response. So just reading the question off, do you currently offer managed services to your customers? So thanks to everybody who's taken a moment to fill this out. I think we're almost there. All right. I am going to go ahead and close the poll and share. So it looks like just about everybody is offering managed services. So that's very cool. So I appreciate that. All right. Thanks, everybody. We're going to go back to the webinar presentation. All right. So as Michelle said, we're going to go ahead and turn it now over to Jeff Robbins. So Jeff, you want to take it from here?
Thank you so much. And thanks, Michelle. As Michelle just kind of went over our flagship product, SureMDM, we took SureMDM to just another level. And we took a step further for our resellers and MSP partners and created SureMDM Hub. SureMDM Hub is a scalable, affordable, multi-tenant hub that offers seamless, secure, and scalable mobile device management to multiple customers from a single admin console. So in essence, you can manage all your SureMDM instances in one place. And we know as an MSP or a reseller, you typically have multiple customers that need mobile device management services. So Setting up a separate platform of SureMDM for each customer can be very time consuming and expensive. But with SureMDM Hub, it becomes possible for you to keep customer platforms isolated from each other, ensuring better security, configuration, customization, and access control. Our multi-tenant setup provides its partners and resellers with flexibility in how they structure their offerings. So if you're using SureMDM, and you can use the same SureMDM license tier that you're using today, whether that's standard, premium, or enterprise, or you can split between the standard, premium, and enterprise with our SureMDM Hub's multi-tier model. So what's cool about this is it's available both on cloud and on-prem. Next slide, please. Next slide. Okay. So some of the opportunities here, I know there's a lot of stuff on this page, but the main thing the main point that I want to point out is if you're managing multiple customers, then SureMDM Hub could be just perfect for you. And this is something we can get in deeper detail with you, and would like to help you if this is something you think you'd be interested in. Next slide. So things management technology, I think this is what separates and differentiates us from our competitors. So using the TMT framework, it performs the role of a proxy for the endpoints and allows your customers to manage and connect devices and their accessories and peripherals through a central console. So this was designed for a real world scenario to manage those peripherals that were historically unable to be managed through a mobile device management. So it could integrate with any things in your organization, from printers and other peripherals to IoT devices. And the way it works is it acts as a proxy between the central console management through SureMDM, and the things connector acts as a bridge to monitor and manage those peripherals through the IoT gateway. So the next one. So here's just a few of the different peripherals that we can manage. So we can manage from VR headsets to barcode scanners to smart batteries, as well as routers. And as you can tell, there's just a variety of different things that we can manage. Next slide. So some of the key features for these things management is the ability to do alerts and notifications, and just the simple enrollment for these things. You could, with a couple of clicks, you can have everything enrolled. You can do the firmware updates, things status monitoring. For example, you can have, being able to manage those printers and RFID devices. Today, we can provide a geofence for the Iris IoT devices, but we can make it work on all other devices in most cases. And other features include the device reboot, transferred files. We can do things online and offline status, being able to do location tracking, compliance job, and then device uptime details. Next slide. So for our OEM support of things management, at the bottom you'll see a list of some of the partners that we partner with. We have others, but this is just a few of the ones that we do. Our things management technology is widely adopted by the leading OEMs to enable that end-to-end management of their smart devices, peripherals, and accessories. And this is a real separator from our competition. If a particular company's devices have open source APIs, then we can develop a connector to manage them as well. The next slide. So, companies that are looking to manage more than just mobile devices, we can make that happen, like printer management, handheld scanners, RFID readers. And just for a real world example, take a retail customer that has multiple locations. Now, if those that have those printers that are located in these retail stores, if you could tell how many impressions that the printer is used, you could do some predictive analysis and know when that printer, or just know before that printer is going to fail. And so as a managed service provider, if you could send out a printer before it fails, that would be very productive for your customers. So that's one of the opportunities that that you can see by using our things management. Next slide. So now we're going to take a look at our Astro branded products. Astro Farm, like many of you back during the pandemic, everyone became pretty much remote workers, and we were all dispersed geographically. And there was a need to access device for testing. So we created Astro Farm, and it worked so well for us that we just made it available to our customers. And the main value prop of Astro Farm is it makes device remotely accessible to those who are geographically dispersed anytime and anywhere. And so if you're trying to set up a device farm through an open source tools, it requires a lot of effort to set it up, to maintain it, to make it secure and scalable. But with Astro Farm, it's a cloud solution that solves this issue by taking out all the manual effort to set up the infrastructure, and it allows you to build your own private device farm in minutes with devices you already own. So devices can be added from a device rack. So if you have a central location where all your devices are located, or even if they're in multiple locations, once the device is enrolled, it becomes available to your employees within their organization, and thus ensuring that security, because the security is now in their hands. And the users would just have to, all they'd have to do is log into the Astro Farm console, check out a device and use it as long as they need it, and then check it back in. Next slide. So as an opportunity, where I see this as the biggest value is that if there's customers that have 100+ employees, and they're especially mid-sized companies that can't afford to purchase devices, their entire QA and development teams across all locations, this would be a great product for them. And we're seeing a big uptick in Astro Farm. Next slide. Moving along with our Astro brand is Astro Contacts. So this is our enterprise contact management tool, and it gives access to contacts within a team or organization, and it works both with iOS and Android devices. So employees can access contacts and modify them based on access control. The app is available on either the Apple App Store or Google Play, so it's real easy to set up. The contact directory is fully controlled and managed by the company, and it will also integrate with existing platforms like the native text messaging app on the device. It works with Skype and WhatsApp. It also provides alert and event reminders through a common dashboard. And so the next slide is really the opportunity. So I just want to give you a couple of examples of customers that have benefited from Astro Contacts. We have a large oil company that has multiple contractors that are in and out of their plant, and so they provide devices, and they use Astro Contacts on all the contacts are preloaded on these devices. And so a contractor uses the device, and after their job is over, they turn it in, and they can give it to the next contractor that comes in, and it's already preloaded with all the contacts. And even the person that they give the device to, on the fly, they can change the name of the other contractor that they give it to. And then another good example is of a large high school that has janitors, and they were given these flip phones, and they didn't want them to be able to have access to anything but the contacts that they loaded into these devices. And this way it allowed them to really kind of manage who they were calling, and they had them all preloaded. So it's a great way to use Astro contacts. Next slide. So Astro Status is our incident management application, and it's the latest product that we put out with 42Gears. Right now it's in beta testing, and we have a few customers today that are using it. And if you have a customer that would be interested in testing that, you can reach out to us. We'd be happy to help you with that. So with Astro Status, you can create status pages, and we offer 3 different types. That's private, public, and subscriber-centric for you to choose from. You can create components and subcomponents to give customer granular insights into your services or microservices, including uptime stats. It's easy to manage subscribers by importing subscribers to Astro Status using CSV files and alert them about incidents and maintenance. Customers can also subscribe to receive notifications from your service. We have the ability to create custom status pages, so you can add your branding elements such as logos, icons, and color themes. You can also customize your status pages info and the email notifications. So if you maintain servers in different geographical locations, you can create a status page for each location and allow customers to subscribe to these updates from a specific location. And you can trigger alerts and notifications by sending real-time alerts to your subscribers via email or the status page. And lastly, you can assign roles and privileges by adding team members to your projects and assign roles specific to their responsibilities so the right stakeholders have the right access. Next slide. So the real opportunity here is really when you're dealing with incident managers who need to coordinate with different stakeholders. So that's where Astro Status really comes in. Next slide. So some of the pain points and trends in MDM, there are 2 that I would say are notable trends. And the first one is security. And most MDM solutions have basic security features, but with the rise of mobility and workforce management, it's posing some serious security challenges. So it's become kind of mandatory for MDM solutions to expand their patch management, vulnerability scanning, and that remediation features. So the acronym of UEMS, which stands for Unified Endpoint Management and Security, really describes this converging market. And the second notable trend is zero trust approach. So the zero trust approach is based on the never trust and always verify ideology, which means every access request must be fully authenticated, authorized, and encrypted before granting access. In short, it provides the security against ransomware, cybersecurity threats by assigning the least required access needed to perform specific tasks. And Jean, I think that's it. I'll turn it over to you.
All right, awesome. Thanks, Jeff. So just wanted to take a quick break here and remind everybody to go ahead and submit your questions. We've had a few come in, but you all just heard from Ankar and Jeff and Michelle and covered a lot, right? We have a lot of new products that come out and some updates on some old products, but would love to have any of your questions that we can answer here in a few minutes. So with that, now you get to hear from me. So as you just heard about all these amazing products, the next question is, how do we help you support and market and enable you, right, to have everything you need to kind of put these products out into the market, along with obviously your services and solutions. So first thing I want to mention is our partner portal. So as you are a member of our Cosmos Partner Program, we have a portal specific to you. You're going to see the link there on that page. And again, I will send out the deck so you'll have this as well. There's a little bit of a screenshot there to the right as far as what the dashboard looks like. Cool thing about our portal is that it is unique to your login. So everybody that gets access to the portal will have a specific credential that's specific to your company. So when you get into the portal, you will see orders and subscription status that are unique to you. You also have a deal registration tool. You can see kind of that green button there. That will allow you to register an opportunity with us. And as we qualify that, you can get additional discounts specific to that opportunity. Also on the portal, you're going to have your important contact information and resources. So it will share with you your account manager and their contact information in case you need that, as well as technical resources, support resources, etc. Up on the right side is going to be your tier benefits. So it'll indicate which level you are within our program. And if you click on the buttons there, it will share with you what the benefits that you get for that level. Also, somewhat new is a quick reference guide that's going to be showing up on the portal, which is kind of a one-pager, one-stop shop to find and get links to everything that you might need to get product updates, contact folks, technical support, etc. So next slide, Ms. Michelle. We also have some fun enhancements that are literally just coming out at the end of this month for our portal. So you can see, on the slide that one real cool new tool is this custom collateral tool. So the portal will actually allow you to upload your logo as well as kind of an about you statement, and it will immediately create custom brochures for you, like right in front of your eyes. So you can see I highlighted on our SureMDM brochure that it added the customer or partner logo up there on the left, and it also will add your specific about information as well as your contact information on the brochure. So it literally is done immediately right in front of you as you add the information. We're also providing availability to more marketing materials. So now you'll have case studies and video testimonials and product brochures and infographics. I'm showing you kind of a brand new infographic, which is our enterprise mobility in 2023. So you'll have access to download those as well. And you'll have access to download your partner tier badges, which we would love for you to download and display on your website. Also, there will be a revenue tracker. So as you sign business plans and we put revenue targets out there, it's going to give you a snapshot as to where you are and what your achievement looks like. So that is a little bit about our portal. Michelle, if you go to the next slide. This is also another super new tool. Actually is being announced, and you'll see it in our partner newsletter. Just a little jibe for the newsletter coming out tomorrow. So watch for that in your inboxes. It's called a digital marketing program. So as you all probably know, our world is all about digital marketing and media and how to get in front of your audiences, right? Whether it's email or social media, blog posts, yada, yada. So we wanted to find a way to make it super easy for our partners to have access to these materials and be able to use them easily. So the program is going to allow you, or not allow, but provide you access to the things listed on the page. So web page templates, you'll be able to download, copy and images to super easily create landing pages, whether it's to support a campaign or if you want to do, a specific device management landing page off your website. Real easy to grab the information and throw it on there. Case studies. Happy to work with you if you've got, a case study that you want to highlight, a win. Real easy to fill out a quick form. We'll get in touch with you, and our amazing digital marketing team will help create a case study. We'll also co-author blogs. Same thing. We will just get some information from you and be happy to help you put together a blog. Social posts. Also would love to work with you on co-sponsoring some social posts. SureTunes are kind of fun. I put a picture up here just on the bottom right as to what one of those looks like, and our creative team has come up with a real fun way to use kind of this comic strip type medium to promote products, solutions, etc. What's real cool is we're offering to our partners that if you've got an idea, we'd love to do kind of a co-branded, co-marketed SureTune. So again, you just have to give us your idea, give us your logo, and we'll put together a SureTune that is married our two products or solutions together, and then we'll get that back to you so you can use it for your own campaigns, your own marketing, social, etc. Podcast. Hopefully you might all have seen on our social media that we just launched our recent podcast, which was actually how 42Gears came to be. So a little plug for Ankar, our CEO, on this webinar as well. He and Prakash did a great job. It's really interesting. If you get a chance, I would definitely invite you to listen to it, just to hear a little bit about, the background behind 42 Gears, why it was formed, and kind of the thought process. And I won't give it away, but they also do inform you as to just what 42 Gears means and how that came to be as far as the name of the company. Video testimonials, again, would be happy to work with you to create not just a written case study, but actually a video testimonial. And next slide, Michelle. A couple of other really unique things that we're offering our partners is, if you've been to our website, we've got a free trial link. So we encourage customers that are interested in mobile device management to sign up for a free trial. We're offering the partners a way to take advantage of this specifically to you. So we have email copy to promote the free trial link, but more importantly, we can create a unique free trial link that is specific to you. So you get in touch with me or partner marketing team, and we will create a link that we give to you that you can use in your marketing, advertising, throw it on your website, put in an email campaign. As folks sign up for the free trial, those leads are specific to you. So any lead that's generated from that unique link is going to come back to you as a lead. So the form's already created, the email copy is going to already be created. So a super easy way for you to pick up that unique link, use that copy to generate leads for yourself. Same with our ROI calculator. Also is a tool that we have available on our 42 Gears website, but we'd love to make that available to you, again, with a unique link that you can use to generate leads. So if customers are interested in checking out, what their savings would look like or what their ROI would look like utilizing, mobile device management, the tool is really easy to use. And again, we'll be able to generate some leads specific to you. So look for more information on the digital marketing program. Again, a plug for our newsletter coming out later today or tomorrow. And there is actually an online request form. You literally just click on that form, let me know what tool or what marketing asset you would be interested in, and we'll get back in touch with you to make that happen. And I think I've got one more slide, Michelle. There we go. So how do we pay for all of this? Everything sounds great, but where's the money? So yes, we do have marketing funds, as some people call them, MDF. Basically, these funds are used to offset your cost or to help pay for your activities to help market and promote 42 Gears. I know you're probably all pretty familiar with the use of marketing funds, but always good to remind everybody. Funds can be used for, a plethora of things, right? Whether it's events that you want to attend, obviously advertising, website, print ads, social ads, campaigns to generate leads, whether it's, through social, email campaigns, content creation, if you want to do a joint brochure or ebook, etc. I'm happy to submit or provide funds for that, co-branded swag. So this is just a sample of things that obviously that we would help fund. So how do you use them? Two ways. You can either get in touch with one of your 42 Gears account managers and just say, hey, I've got an opportunity. I'd love to see if we can chat on using some funds. They'll bring it to me, and then we'll go from there. Also, we do have a partner marketing at 42 Gears email address, which I've included there that you are welcome to use as well. So that is it for me on the marketing portion. So I think we've got one more poll question. Yeah, so I'm going to go ahead and launch that. So let's get started. Launching. So here, this is a little bit selfish for me. I'm real curious to find out what resources or tools you would be interested in to assist in your marketing efforts. So if you all could please take a second and just let me know, what can we do as far as enablement tools, collateral materials, training, what's I guess the most important to you or most helpful to you as far as being able to market and sell our 42 Gears products. And while we're finishing that, I just want to make another plug if there's any questions. Like I said, we've had a couple, and we do have a little bit of time left in the webinar, so feel free to type in those questions if you have not already. All right, we'll give this another second or two. And I'm watching it build. You all don't get to see it, but I get to watch all the answers come in. All right. Well, I'm going to go ahead and close it. I think we got a lot of responses here, and I will share that out. So it looks like a pretty good smattering across the different mediums, but sales engagement is right up there. So That's awesome to see. All right, great. Well, we are finished with the poll. So now I am going to go ahead and open it up to questions. So I would ask my amazing panel team that is still on the call with me here to go ahead and pipe in if you would like for any of these questions. So first question we have is, moving off a current device management software can be challenging for customers. Even if they're unhappy or want to explore alternatives, it could still be difficult. What are your thoughts, or is there anything that you can do to address kind of this issue on moving off of current device management software? So I'll open it up to any of my team members if they want to chime in on that one.
Gene, this is Jim Malmquist. That comes up a lot, and it's, hey, I don't want to move because I can't touch each device. It's going to be difficult. We have a professional services team that has scripting that we can do, and depending on the end users or the customer's current MDM and the device type, there may be lots of options available to them to make that an easier process. And Ankar, I think you just came off mute as well. I think we're going to add some clarity to that as well.
Yeah, Jim. To build on that, some of the devices are easily can be migrated, and it all depends on the kind of that is. Where the migration have been really smooth, didn't even device. So it all depends, but it is possible. In many of the cases.
Yeah, we face this with a lot of our larger customers that, I've got devices all over the world potentially and need to migrate them off, and I don't want to have to touch each device. And with some of the scripting tools and some of the OEMs with having tools like Stage Now and others that we can utilize to make that process simpler. Again, nothing's ever easy. There's lots of moving pieces, but there are plans, and we just need to kind of dive into it a little bit and plan it out. So that's a great question, but it shouldn't be a deterrent from continuing with the conversation with the customer.
All right, great. Thank you, both of you, for answering that one. A couple more questions. So the next is, do you allow customers to use CMK servers? That's above my pay grade, so I'm not sure what that means.
I can't even spell it, so I'll have to let Ankar answer.
Okay, we can always take that one and table it and get back to that individual. No problem. All right, let me move to the next question. So your things management.
Sorry, maybe I can get a little bit of clarity. Do we allow customers to use those servers? If a customer wants to do an on-premise deployment, there shouldn't be any problem with the type of server they're using. It's been in the operating system that's on that server. Most of the time, we try to direct our customers to our SaaS infrastructure, which is in AWS. So we can get some more research done on CMK and what that means, but most of the time, most of our deployments, we try to encourage the customer to get into SaaS. It's just easier to support them, easier to keep the servers on the most current versions and upgraded, et cetera.
All right, thanks, Jim. No, I appreciate that. Thanks for saving me on that one. Another question came in. It says, who provides access to the partner portal? So that's an easy one. I'll actually take that. So Monique, you are welcome to get with your account manager, or when I send this deck out, I'll include my email information, and I can get you access to the portal. So thanks for that question. Moving on, we have a couple more questions. This one is around our things management. So question came in and said, things management capability sounds really interesting. How would I know if you can manage my customer's peripheral or non-smart device? How do we get started with that?
Yeah, Ankar, go ahead. I'll sit quiet.
I just want to say that if a device is currently connected with any host device, it all depends on how those devices are currently managed locally, right? What are the ways to communicate with the device, and once we know that, we can then build on top of it, like how we can actually manage them from the MDM. But Jim, would you like to add something?
Yeah, no, I was just thinking of, we have a large retailer that came to us and said we have a connected associate program. Their associates have a small Android phone on their belt that they use to communicate and stay in touch with other associates. and they have these paired Bluetooth headsets, and they wanted to know if we could help them manage those Bluetooth headsets. So we just went to Amazon and bought one, paired it to an Android device, and lo and behold, there were open APIs available to our connector. And we were able to pull back serial number, make and model, as well as things like volume control. So the value that we could add to that retailer then is, yeah, not only can we tell you how many of these Bluetooth headsets you have, we can tell you the make and model, serial number, and firmware version. And if the associate couldn't figure out why it wasn't working, maybe the volume was turned all the way down, the system admin could then turn the volume up from the console. So a lot of times it just takes us having a conversation and then popping the hood on the connected device and the peripheral to see what functionality will work. Then it becomes time to have a conversation of, well, hey, the open APIs on that particular peripheral, we can determine these sorts of things. Is that enough business value to justify building a connector and purchasing the licenses to do it? And those all can be had in discovery conversations, and we can usually determine quite a bit. So hope that helps.
No, great. Thank you, both of you. All right, I think we have time maybe for one more question. And this comes in and says, are there benefits to managing devices on-premise versus in the cloud?
Oh,
Any thoughts on that?
I think the advantages are to be managing it in the cloud, right? That we can support it easier. Our team can log in and see the server versions, make sure that there's not a configuration issue with the server, and eliminate that if there is a problem. So we always try to lead with that cloud-first approach. Some of our customers in the government agencies or whatnot say from a security perspective, these devices never connect to the network outside of this one private network. They never, so there may be one advantage to doing an on-premise deployment from that perspective, but not a lot of benefits on an on-premise deployment, especially from a support perspective. Onkar, you got anything else to add to that?
I agree. I agree. I agree with that. And the one other thing would be that on-prem sometimes is kind of like chosen over cloud because of the the data security, or you may already have the infrastructure to run the on-premise environment, which in the long term becomes costly. You can save some now, but the maintenance upgrades and all can be expensive over the long term. So yeah,
people think that, I'm going to avoid the hosting costs by putting a server in my closet over there and running it, and it just doesn't never. It's we do on-premise subscriptions, we do have that option, but usually the evidence points to, hey, let us host this for you, because it's so much easier to support and maintain. When the customer has a problem and calls in for support, if it's an on-premise server, we have to be able to troubleshoot and be able to determine, is it a server issue? So there's lots of reasons why we would want to point people to a cloud deployment as opposed to an on-premise.
And to piggy off that, Jim, also we get when it comes to, if there's a bug or an issue, the cloud is so much quicker and faster to get some patches to.
Yeah, absolutely.
All right, great. Thank you. Okay, great. Thanks, gentlemen. And actually, we are just at time. So I wanted to thank everybody again. I know last day or almost last day of the quarter, so super grateful for you all jumping on. Hopefully you all learned a little bit. If you already knew about it, it's great. If not, then hopefully you're interested, or we've piqued your interest. So I would encourage you to reach out to your account manager if you have any questions or want to dive deeper into any of the products. I will be sending out the deck as well as the recording with contact information. So would love to hear from you. If you've got any questions, feel free to reach out to us. So thank you to all my 42Gears folks for being on, and my panelists and presenters. I appreciate you. And thanks again to everybody. Enjoy the rest of your day and have a great weekend coming up. Take care, everyone.
Well done. Thanks, Jean.